G'day folks, welcome to Stuff and Such, Witty Meadow Honey. I just wanted to add my experience to the Formic Pro conversation and share my experience. There's been a few people making other reviews on what their experience was, and a lot of them mirror mine, and I haven't seen too many that don't. So I'll go over what I did and what my weather was like, and you can make your own decision on what you want to do. So where we are, we're in Northern Ontario, Canada. Currently it's June 26th, and we put on our Formic Pro pads. It was around the end of May, 1st of June. I can't quite remember. I just remember it was around May or June 12th or so that I got to take them off. And I did the double pad application. I followed the instructions as precise as I possibly could. I don't feel I deviated anywhere from that. My weather, they say you want to try and hit between, I think it was 10 and 30 Celsius, and I had perfect conditions for it. It was kind of overcast, similar like today, and we were kind of going through actually a bit of a cool spell, and I was almost worried about being too cold. And too cold isn't really an issue, other than you start to lose efficiency on your mite killing. So got the hives behind me, and so I'm facing directly east. This bush here is northwesterly pointing. Basically my point is when high noon comes along, so there's the road, the sun comes up over there in the east, and be about noon the sun is causing shadows to fall on our hives. So basically my point is, because they don't sit there and bake in the sun, so there's not an issue of an excessive heat issue. So I thought, okay, I got kind of perfect conditions for this product. I thought people's experiences were primarily a lack of following directions, I guess. So going with that, here's my experience. So this hive here, queen died right away. This queen didn't. So they started making queen cells, so I took some and stuffed it in this nuke. Heading over here to this area. This queen stayed alive. This queen stayed alive. This queen died. The queen that was inside this one died. I split it into two. And that's all. That back there is a queen cellar colony. These are nukes I'm building up. So also I have another yard. There's only two hives at it. One of those queens died and one lived. That means, so I had two over there, two here, and then, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Out of 8, I had 4 queens die, so 50% loss. Not only that, and it was kind of expected, the queen quit laying, and any open brood seemed to die. They seemed like they shut off laying for almost a week and a half. basically as I was pulling out my 2-pad formic treatment, they were sort of starting to lay again, but barely, to the point that it was a little challenging to determine if the queen was still alive or not. Because one of the quick ways of finding out if a queen is alive is to look for eggs and larvae. So it was kind of challenging to find out if they're still actually alive. So, where I don't see how I could improve. The instructions are what the instructions are, and being that you're supposed to follow them, I've heard of other keepers that try to modify their efficiencies or try to modify the methods of application, throwing them way up on the top box, or also the point is that you shouldn't need to adjust the treatment system. If the treatment instructions are incorrect, then they shouldn't be on the package. So it's kind of twofold. It's right as I was wanting to ramp up and get ready for honey season, I got kicked right in the fork. And now I've lost probably half my honey production for this year. My hives are all split up. I got nukes everywhere, which will be fine maybe for next year, but when you're trying to make money selling honey this year, I'm kind of screwed. Based on losing queens and also losing almost 2 weeks of real strong brood production. I would like to add, it's actually closer to about 3 to 4 weeks, since you're losing the queen laying eggs and you're also losing eggs she already laid for the past 2 weeks that aren't yet capped. So that's the spring aspect. If I was to treat in the winter time, I feel like the problem would almost be even worse, because I have no chance of recovery in wintertime. I can't just go out and buy a whole whack of queens in preparations for them dying from the treatment. Now I have a slight hypothesis, is that from watching other keepers, and mainly I've been keeping an eye on what Ian Stepler's doing out there in Manitoba. Unfortunately, he was about 4 days behind me, so I couldn't use his experience to change my method or change my what I was gonna do. So his experience was very similar to mine, and he also seemed to have the same outcome. He also had, it seemed like he kind of had the same queen bees as I sort of did, as in like they weren't previously experienced to formic. But interestingly, he had some queens that didn't even seem fazed by it. And you watch an interview by a Formic Pro salesman, or spokesman, whatever you want to call him, one and the same likely. And he claims he treats his bees and doesn't really see any major effects at all and to his queens. And now I doubt he's just outright lying. So I kind of have this theory, because I like also kind of jumbling up here. Ian had some queens from Randy Oliver, and Randy also has become a bit of a formic user as well. And I kind of wonder if they've accidentally, on purpose, bred queens by just culling out ones that don't make it. If they've accidentally made queens that are Formic Pro or formic acid resistant, because it was very interesting that some bees were greatly affected and some weren't. And it makes sense if you just start treating with formic, and every queen that dies from formic is obviously not in your breeding pool anymore. Now you have formic resistant queens. What just sting me for, you little jerk? Ow! I guess I got them mad, so I better go. So apparently the bees don't like me bad mouthing Formic Pro. Or stung me in the back of the head. But anyways, that's my experience. I don't plan on using it again. I see no reason to use it as a tool. If the mites are getting so bad that you feel you need such a sledgehammer approach, it seems you're likely going to lose your queen anyway, in my experience. So, yeah, I have a big thumbs down on it and won't be using it again. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one, and bye for now.